Hey guys, what's going on? This is Chitrava here, and in this video we're going to talk about the Polar plugin in BetterAuth. Chances are that if you are watching this video, you probably already know what BetterAuth and Polar is because you probably just searched for this. And I don't think that anybody would just click on a video with unknown terms that they have no idea about. So if you still don't know what I'm talking about, BetterAuth is an authentication solution which is self-hosted authentication mainly for the JavaScript and TypeScript ecosystem. And Polar is a merchant of record, which is basically a payment platform, an alternative of Stripe. And the one thing really great about Polar is the developer experience is unmatched. So in this video, we're going to talk about the plugin which Polar team created for BetterAuth, which makes payment integrations a lot more easier if you have authentication and stuff. It has some cool features like creating a customer on the Polar side automatically when a user is created on the BetterAuth side, and then listing products inside the config itself so that you can already have like URLs so that, on which users can go and subscribe to different plans on your website. I think that's pretty cool, and it also gives you a route to check the status of whatever plan your customers are on. I think all of that is pretty cool. Webhook access is also there, and I think it makes things a lot more easier when dealing with payments and authentication in general. Alright, so full disclaimer, I need you to know what BetterAuth is. I need you to understand how it works, and I need you to understand how to integrate it in a Next.js or any backend thing. So if you don't already know how to do that, I have a video on it made on my channel. I will link that in the description below. I highly recommend you to go and watch that, or else you won't understand anything here. So this is basically the BetterAuth configuration file which we created in the previous video, and we're just gonna keep adding on this. If just to give you a gist, if you haven't watched the previous video and if you know about BetterAuth, this is just a basic BetterAuth setup with Drizzle ORM and with Google stuff enabled. So the only way of authenticating is Google Auth. So now let's get started. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is actually install the Polar dependencies. Since we already have BetterAuth setup, we don't need to install BetterAuth and stuff again. So let's do this. I'm using bun, so I'm using bun install command. So bun install polar sh/sdk and polar sh/betterauth. By the way, if you don't already know, I have already made a video on Polar which does not use BetterAuth. So if you wanna look at the regular version of Polar, I already have a video. I will leave that in the description below, so make sure you check that out. Okay, so this is installed. Now we can simply do bun dev and get started. I hope this works. Anyways, it's gonna work. Alright, so now what we need to do is, first of all, we need to create a new Polar thing. So we are gonna do const polar is equal to new. I think we should name this client is equal to new polar, and we actually need to import this. And this should be actually access token as string, and make sure you don't have the next public because this should not be accessible on the client side. And the next thing we need is the server, which is going to be sandbox because we are testing. So now what we should be doing here is, first of all, we set this in the environment variable. So I'm just going to go to the browser. I'm just going to put this somewhere else so we can easily access this. And now what we're going to do is we are just going to go to settings, and we're just going to go ahead and create a new access token here. Now I already have it. You can create it. I'm not going to expose that here, even though this is sandbox. I really want to make it a standard to not expose API keys, even if it is standard, except when it's very difficult to do so. But I'm going to pause video here, and I'm going to add that API key, the access token, to my environment variable file. Alright, so now that is taken care of. I have added it in the env.local file. If you want to deploy it, you need to add it to your environment variables wherever you're deploying it. So now what we should be doing is we should be actually adding the plugin here. So it's not able to automatically detect it, so we just need to do this from polar sh BetterAuth, and now we can simply pass in options here. So first of all, we need to pass in the client so that it can do stuff. The next thing we need is we need to enable some flags. So create customers on sign up, which is true. So whenever somebody creates an account on your website using BetterAuth instance, whenever BetterAuth creates that user, the customer will also be created on the Polar side. If you don't want that behavior, you can do false, but I don't imagine a scenario where you're using this plugin and you don't want that to happen. So yeah, then you have enabled customer portal, which is basically a handy way for your customers to manage your subscription through their UI. So it will have an URL of basically slash something like slash API slash auth slash portal, something like this. So whenever they access this, they will get the portal from Polar. Now we need to have one more thing, which is going to be checkout. These are going to be basically our products. So we first need to enable this. So enable true, and now we need to have products, which is going to be an array. And now the format here is we need to have a product ID, which is going to be a string, and then we need to have a slug. Here I'm going to have two plans, which is going to be Pro and Pro Max, which is going to be stupid plans, which are not even real, to be honest. But yeah, gonna save this and just create another one. Product ID, not Pro Monthly, this should be Pro Max. Perfect. Now where do we get this product IDs from? We get these from Polar. So we will go to Polar now and we'll create new customers. So now here we're gonna do, no, sorry, not customers. I'm really sorry for that. Products. Now let's create new product. Here I'm just gonna say it Pro. This is Pro plan, and now we are gonna set it to subscription. You can do whatever. You can even keep it to one time if you want to be honest. Fixed price. Pro is going to be $20. You can add whatever you want to here. I don't want to. Going to be pretty minimal tutorial. Now the product is added, and now we will add Pro Max. So Pro Max. This is Pro Max tier. Yeah. We also need to add price, of course. Yeah. So here we are going to keep it monthly, and price type a fixed price $200. Hello OpenAI, how are you doing? Okay, so add product. Now we need to get the product IDs here. So I'm just gonna click the three dots here and click on copy product ID. We need to copy the product ID, not the price ID, remember that. So if you want to give discounts to a user, probably the best way to do it is coupon codes. I wish there was a price ID field here. I don't know if there is. Is it there? No. It's fine. Now we need to get the other product ID. Perfect. Now we can simply save this, and now whenever we go to something like slash API slash auth slash checkout slash pro, you will be actually sent back to this thing, but I'm not gonna do that right now. First of all, we need to do some stuff. So I'm gonna go to package.json and I'm gonna do db studio, and here I'm gonna have result kit studio, and yeah, now we can go back here, and now we can just create a new tab and we can do bun db studio. Alright, so now we can simply go to local.result.studio, and now we're going to have a bunch of tables. Now this is my user, which I'm going to delete right now, because we need to simulate how the customer is created on the other side. I already had this user, so I need to actually delete this. So I'm gonna delete this right now. Delete one record. Perfect, it's deleted. Now I am gonna just go ahead and first of all let's go to localhost 3000. Yeah, we use Google for authentication. Let's sign in. Dude, this should not be this slow. Okay, so now Welcome Athava Deosale. We will be revamping this UI using cursor in a bit. Since UI is really not that big of part of the tutorial, we'll see if we have time, we will do that. But now let's go back here and let's go to customers, and now you will have my customer here, which is cool. Now you can simply just go ahead and do stuff. So like I can just go here and I can simply do slash API slash auths slash checkout slash pro. Basically API slash auth is our BetterAuth root and anything uh, in front of that is our Polar stuff. So checkout slash pro, this should take us to the pro plan. Now let's wait. I hope it does. Yeah, perfect. It says $20 a month. It already has my email here and everything. I don't even need to provide anything, just my country here, which is India. Again, if you want to provide discounts to your user, this is probably the way to do that. Now here I'm just gonna simply put the test card number. Yeah, and now we're gonna subscribe. I forgot one thing to do. Yeah, you are now eligible for the benefits of pro. Perfect. But the thing is that there was supposed to be a redirect and it didn't happen. That's because we didn't configure a redirect. Now we can simply do something like success URL. I don't think it should be here. Should it be here? No, it should not be. It should be here. Success URL, and it should be slash success checkout ID checkout ID. This should remain like this because Polar will just add the checkout ID here so that you can check later on if the product is really purchased or not and do your specific actions regarding to that. But yeah, now whenever you will check out, you will be redirected there. What I want to do is I just want to go ahead and cancel the subscription here. So I'm just gonna try to just cancel the subscription. Can I do that? No. Is it possible? Hello, can I just refund, I guess? Yeah, I want to revoke the benefits. Can I actually revoke the benefits? View. Cancel subscription right now. Alright, not end up immediately. I want to cancel this. Okay. Now we can simply go back and we can go to localhost 3000 slash API slash auth slash checkout slash pro max. And now we should be redirected to $200 a month plan. Hello OpenAI again. And now we can simply put our stuff again. And now we can simply subscribe. Now we will be redirected to a 404 page because we don't have the page. And I don't think I'm going to create that page in this tutorial because it's out of the scope. You can do according to what your wish is. Payment successful, processing order, waiting confirmation from Athava, which is my organization name. And after this, I should simply be redirected to where I need to be redirected. Let's wait. Yeah, this should not take a lot of time. Why do I always think like something is wrong here? Yeah, it says 404, but now if you look at the URL, you have the checkout ID here. So whenever you are on this page and you have a checkout ID, what you could do on the server side is check whether this checkout ID has been successful, provision the benefits and all. You can basically, ideally this URL should be on your server and then it should be redirected back to your client after the processing is done. But in Next.js, the lines are so blurred that you can use basically something like React server components and just do all of that stuff right then and there, or just pass in an API route and it won't even feel that much. But if you're using something like Hono with just vanilla React, This is how you should be handling stuff. You should provide the server path and you should provision the benefits and do stuff. Now, one thing I want to talk about here first of all is let's go to localhost 3000. This is a way for your app to know if the user is subscribed or not whenever you want to do. So we can just go to API/auth/state. So this takes some time. You probably want to cache this using something like Redis. If I was using this in production, I would create another API route and cache this and put the cache to end at whenever the subscription is ending. So current period end, which is here. My face is covering it, but it says current period end, this one, and you just pass this to Redis, and after this it would be expire, and whenever somebody cancelled, you need to actually clear the cache for that specific user. I don't know if that's really that good of an idea, but to make things fast, I would definitely do that. Okay, now you have active subscriptions here, and you have 0. So it is the first subscription which is active. You can also set like if you don't want more than one subscription. I think that's on the Polar dashboard, so you can check that out. But yeah, you have the product ID here, again covered with my face, but you can find the product ID here and compare it into your thing and check if the user is supposed to access some specific page or not. So you don't need to call like Polar SDKs and stuff. You can simply call this API route and check if the user has all of the stuff. So yeah, the next thing I want to focus on is WebSockets. So now what we can do here is not WebSockets, sorry, webhooks. The next thing we are going to focus on is webhooks. I'm sorry, I need to do this again for timestamps and stuff. So now we need to actually have a secret here, which is going to be Polar webhook secret as string. And now you can have different stuff. So I can have on subscription active, and I can simply do some stuff. So like async payload, and you have access to basically everything here. So basically payload.type everything you have here. But I would recommend like making a round trip to the Polar SDK and checking it out yourself, because I generally don't tend to trust webhook events a lot. But yeah, now typically what you want to do here is like provision anything. If it's pretty straightforward, I would just cache that into Redis. Now what would happen if somebody just cancelled the thing, or you cancelled on your backend? In that case you would need something like on subscription revoked. So this is run whenever the user does not renew, or whenever you cancel the subscription and revoke the benefits immediately. So you just revoke anything or just remove the cache from Redis. That's it. You need to do. And now you can just simply get the secret from the Polar thing. So if you go here and if we go to settings, you can go to webhooks, and I already have one here, but you can basically add an endpoint, set this to raw, and generate a secret here. Just enable whatever you want. I just simply do all because this is just testing, but in production you might wanna select what things you want, and you just pass in the URL. And the way you pass in URL here is not localhost. It's basically you spin up an ngrok. So if you don't have an ngrok and you are a MacBook, so you just do brew install ngrok. For other platforms, I recommend you to check it out, but you can simply do ngrok http 3000, and this will open a tunnel, and now you can simply just use this URL into the webhook thing. So now you can simply copy this and just paste this here, and now you can do /API/auth/polar/webhook. How am I knowing that now this is Polar? You can simply go to the documentation. This is mostly what I suggest you to do. Polar, BetterAuth. Yeah. Here now you can see a lot of different things. This is the Polar documentation on BetterAuth. So post Polar/webhooks is basically incoming webhooks. So you need to point it that way. I hope they had a way to rename the routes and stuff. I don't really like how they are naming the routes here, but yeah, everything should be under Polar, but currently it's not. Like for example, /state does not mean anything. It does not even sound related to Polar. So if there was an ability to rename that, it would be really great. But yeah, you just do that and press create. I'm not gonna do that because I already have that, and this is already running. I probably just need to change the URL here, so I'm just gonna paste this and /API/auth slash what else /API/auth polar/webhooks. Perfect. I'm just gonna save this. Webhook updated. Now whenever you just do some stuff, it's gonna have here. You can simply just do console log and stuff. I'm not gonna test that right now. It's a simple, really simple webhook thing. So yeah, this is it for this tutorial. It's pretty straightforward how you can do this. There's also an plugin for Stripe which I plan to create a dedicated video for. I think before we go, I think we should do something really cool. I think we should just try to go to the page.tsx file. I'm just gonna ask cursor to do some designing here. So I'm just gonna switch the model to Plot 3.7 Sonnet. If you don't have cursor, it's fine. I'm just creating the UI. I'm too lazy to create an UI. I'm just gonna admit it. And I'm not going to be that YouTuber who says that don't use AI and stuff. I'm going to actively use AI in future of my videos, so you know how these things really work and when you should be using this. So I'm going to create a simple UI where the user's current plan is shown and there are 2 tiers to upgrade. Pro, which is going to be $20 a month. Pro Max, $200 a month. I think I should say create an aesthetically pleasing and modern UI. Let's see what it does. I wanna see how good it designs. We are on a little roll right now. So if you have finished, like if you know what you already wanna know from this tutorial, feel free to just quit. I'm gonna go ahead and show you how you can implement this in UI. So yeah. Let's wait. Okay, by the way, I just want to tell you, like, instead of hard coding the product ID here, what you might want to do is actually put an environment variable with these product ID or some kind of function which gets it from somewhere else. But if you are using it in server, it's pretty much makes sense to just put it inside environment variables. Since this is just a tutorial, I'm not doing this, just like I'm not adding Redis because it's just not needed. So yeah. Let's wait. I hope this is quicker. Are you done? Let's go to localhost 3000. Let's see for ourselves. I'm gonna keep this open because we will need this later. I'm gonna go to localhost 3000. Oh yeah, great. I don't want to do this. Do not have functions. Keep simple. I cannot believe I need to tell cursor about this. Just do it. Just do it. Please just do it. It should not take this long. Come on. This is a detour. As I said, if you feel that you're not getting value from this, just leave. Or just fast forward to the part we actually try to make some difference. Okay. Yeah, I think this looks good. But we need to now actually go ahead and start adding data. I'm just going to accept this file. And now since everything is server component, we can simply go ahead and... we need to go to page.tsx I'm gonna accept everything. And now user plan is not free. First of all, we need to actually go ahead and fetch it. So const plan is equal to await fetch /API/auth/state. I hope they had a client plugin for this. I really hope they do, because Stripe has. And I'm gonna pass in the headers and stuff, because that represents the cookies and stuff, so that you can recognize the session and give your plan state accordingly. The next thing we need, do we need anything else? We don't. So now we can simply say cons plan JSON. Please don't really take my names for account. I'm simply just like literally trying to make things work. And now I want to go back here. I saved. The thing I want here is active subscriptions. For now, we are just going to do something like plan data dot active subscriptions. Zero. Interesting. I think we should do something like, okay, hold on. We are gonna do let user plan is equal to free. All right. So if active subscriptions dot length is greater than 0, then we will be having that plan slug. So what is exactly the product ID here? So 0 dot product ID. We probably should also be doing something like a map here, but I think we should simply just do ternary for here. Typically you want to have a map with all of the stuff. I'm just gonna do like this for now. C54 is C54 the pro plan? Yes, it is. Thank you, cursor. Typically you want to have something like a map where you can just get all these things, or you can just do environment variable stuff. So yeah, we have only 2 plans, and that's why this is possible. But if you have more than 2 plans, you probably need some sophisticated solution to handle all of this. So now if we just go ahead and okay, we need to actually pass in the current plan user plan. Okay, let's see if this works out of the box. Failed to pass URL. Why is that? API/auth/state. I think we are doing it properly. What's the issue here? Oh, I think we need to just pass in the base URL as well. So is that the issue? Oh, that's what happens when you wipe code. So yeah, keep that in mind. Now it says that we are on Pro Max. Very good. Now let's check if we are on Pro Max or not. Oops. Yeah, now let's go to customers, and let's go here, and it says that Pro Max is active. Really great. I just want to make sure we are doing this correct once more. So I'm just gonna immediately cancel this. So when you are canceling this, it will fire a webhook, and if you have a cache, it should get cleared. If you don't have your cache cleared at this point, whenever the user refreshes the page, it will keep getting stuck at Pro Max, and that's not great for you, because the user can keep using your stuff, and that would not be good. So make sure you use the cache stuff really wisely. That's why I'm not really covering that in this tutorial. If you want that tutorial, make sure you let me know in the comments. Now we are gonna no, it's not upgrade. It's not upgrade. Hold on. We need to actually update the URLs here. What is the href? Okay, why is this so problematic? pricing plans. It should be slash API slash auth slash checkout slash pro. And go back to localhost 3000. One last testing and then we are done with this video. So now we can simply go to pro. Let's wait. Now we have all the things here. We can simply do 424242424242 and just do some random stuff here and just subscribe. This basically should fire your webhook and you should be doing the provision stuff there and there. And this should take you to a success URL where you should double check if the provision is done or not. But we are not creating the success URL, so now we can simply go back to the dashboard and stuff. Let's go back, and now we are on the pro, and which is the current plan. So yeah, great, really good. That's it for this video. I'm really tired. It's 4:37 a.m. Damn. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you really liked the video and learned something new from this. If you have any questions or if you have any suggestions related to the content on this channel, feel free to leave comment below and I would be happy to create that content for you. So yeah, that's it for this video. Like, subscribe, do that stuff, and I don't know, like, just do that. I guess it helps the channel. I'm really struggling to grow this channel. I really want to take this to a new height, so please make sure you support me. And yeah, I would be making projects and stuff in the near future, so you really don't want to miss that. So yeah, that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.